Basement, level vibes with another one, straight up, blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the crook can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune on upon the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the truth. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the truth. Mark Benskop, straight up.
I gotta get no more. I gotta get no more. Gotta get no more. Imagine 80 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public face. Then you're going to over stress, cause I done fed up. You done fed up. He done fed up. She done fed up. We done fed up. The people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how we go set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no play with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment. And you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
So my relationship, nothing. He's a tenant.
Yeah, my name is Jasmine Caldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
All right. Hey, guess where are we going to start off now? Three men. Three men. Well, let's not get into that. It's 8:38. My name is Mark Benchap, and welcome to Straight Up. It's 9:38 in Georgetown, Guyana. All throughout Guyana, it's the same price. I mean, not price, but what am I saying? Same price. Might as well start right over again, right? What's on my mind? Cost of living? It's not the same price. Things are I. Listen to this woman. Things are I. Cost of living gone up. Things are I in
Oh,
Guyana.
Jesus Christ. If cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Good night to all of you, wherever you're watching. The folks out in Evesham, Epsom. Some folks contacted me and say, "Hey, Mark, they're from Kilturn, they're from Evesham, Epsom, Bengal. How come I don't say hi to them and I'm only focusing on Philippi or Alnis or Linden?" Come on, guys. I focus on everything all over, man. Even the people at Weldad, the people at Belladrum asking, why am I always picking on them? The people of Buxton, the people of Oka. How many of you guys know in Linden there's a street called Polka Street? Polka Street many years ago used to be like a mini New York, where every little child would get dressed up as soon as the sun about to go down, sunset, and then sundown. And then there's the river. But when it gets nice and warm and cool, guess what? A bunch of us little boys in our call it bokta. I bet a lot of you don't even know what bokta is. Or you might be around your little kids or your American kids and you're ashamed to tell them you came from a bokta generation. And no, I'm not here to talk about bokta, mind you, because Jagdeo and the PPP, they're practicing bokta politics. Bokta politics. That's what's going on in Guyana. Okay. All right. Hey, my name is Mark Benchap. Good night and welcome to Straight Up. Lots and lots of things happening. Tom is going to be with us. Dom Anderson is going to be with us. All of you, wherever you are. Kendall, Eldon, Harvey, Kendall, Harvey. I think he's a Linden man. Talking about Eversham is my family roots. Stay in Linden, Harvey. Stay in Linden. Good night to all of you guys. Somebody said had Tarzan too. I don't know. I don't know about Tarzan. I don't know about Tarzan. I know about Bokta. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Bokta. But if you have kids and grandkids and teach them these little things, like Emma swears that she's from Linden. Emma tells people in her school that she's from Linden, and not Linden Boulevard. But good night to the Linden Boulevard crew. About 40 in one apartment. Relatives, everybody go to. Those were the good days. Linden Boulevard crew. Some of them are watching. They know who they are. All right, what else is happening in your neck of the woods? Denise Beard is talking about Polka Street empty now. Lots of empty houses. That's because of the corrupt PPP regime. Yes, again, some people are going to say, why, everything is the corrupt PPP regime? Well, yes, everything is the corrupt PPP regime. Every single thing. Because they rig elections, all manner of things they do. All sort of things they do in Guyana. Under the PPP regime. Hey, for those of you who have already shared the link, thank you so much for sharing the link. And those who don't want to share the link, you guys will end up where a guy by the name of Dennis Atwell currently is. Let me see how many of you guys know where Dennis Atwell is and who is prepared to bail him. Who thinks he should get out of straight up jail? He is right now in straight up jail. How many of you guys think that he should get out of straight up jail? I know Rhonda Lane is probably smiling that Dennis Atwell Dennis Atwell Ronda misbehaved, and so he misbehaved. He is currently in straight up jail. We have jail here, right? We putting them in jail too, but he's in a different part. He's just in a soft section. We can't wait for folks like Jagdeo, them, right? Oh, yeah. All right. Good night to all of you. Deborah Sharona Lynch, thanks for sharing the link. Thank you so much for sharing the link, guys. Kim Walker, how are you? You haven't shared the link as yet. Starting 2025, January 1st, no, not Free University of Guyana, the PPP regime believes, Mary Baird, they believe that people just dropped off of a coconut tree. That prior to the PPP enforced fees at UG. Well, look, we have former finance minister. Maybe we should get in touch with the former finance minister. Maybe we should send the former finance minister this link so that we can hear from him, because we cannot sit back and allow Jagdeo to talk crap. Maybe we should just see what's happening. Our executive producer is going to get in touch with the former finance minister, Winston Jordan. Winston Jordan. Oh, yeah. We want to be able to, let's see if we are lucky, because we're actually live on the air. Mr. Jordan, good night. How are you, sir? Yep. Thank you so much. A lot of folks might be wondering, because we have Tom Anderson ready, but we want to rock and roll with you to set the record straight with these guys in the PPP regime. But should we do it like this, or should we just send you a link so you can join us? We should do it like this, because I put on my pajamas. Okay, good. We got pajamas, right? I thought that your program is the closest one to do a quick response. Thank you so much. But one will follow. Yeah, I get that. Before we go, our guest, well, not guest, I should just call Tom my co-host, but Tom is always a friend of us here. And so Tom laughed after you said that you already put on your pajamas. Tom Anderson, good night, sir. You heard our former finance minister.
Yes, I heard him. How's everyone doing? Good night, everyone.
All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. The former finance minister is with us, and Tom Anderson, if we want to hear what the finance minister has to say, because Jagdeo had a lot of lies and lies and lies. Where do we begin with the lies? First of all, he claimed that you were, in other words, you were just next to nothing, and they felt sorry for you and give you a job at the Ministry of Finance. Is that what your interpretation, sir?
Yeah, let us start off by going right back to 1992. In 1992, I was a tenured public servant appointed by the Public Service Commission as budget director. So that is the first lie you can debunk. That because they could not remove me or fire me. I was not contracted employee. I was a tenured public servant appointed by the Public Service Commission as the first director office of the budget. So get it out of the way first. Second, in 1992, I left Guyana in August on a one-year Hubert Humphrey Fellowship to Penn State in the United States. Okay? So I wasn't here when they came into power in October. Right? I returned in 1993. In 1993, I think July, and resumed duties at the Office of the Budget. When I returned, I met two political commissars in the Ministry of Finance, Jagdeo and Ramon Gaskin, running around like chicken without neck and back. And most of the time, he spent his time on the wharves, claiming that he be looking to see who avoiding duties and whatnot. He had no technical work to do in the ministry. He was doing political work on the wharves. and with commune customs custom monitoring unit that was looking at smuggling and so on. He had no technical work to do, and of course, he looked like he would put there as the political person to oversee Asghar Ali, because remember, Asghar Ali was a technocrat brought in from Jamaica to be the Minister of Finance. So that was essentially what I didn't know the guy, never met the guy before. I heard he used to work at Ministry of Finance, but from his supervisor at Ministry of Finance, God rest the dead, Jean Evelyn, I learned a lot about him and his proclivity for certain things, but his inability to perform. That much I learned. And I also learned from people who studied with him at Patrice Lumumba University. And so I had a fairly good understanding of the character in the ministry. Our paths crossed, for example, in 1994, early January, when the Character Center had some 4 or 5 day seminar that they were hosting on Guyana at the Tower Hotel. And he was charged with delivering 2 papers, I believe, 2 presentations. Apparently, he could not do them because I met with the Character Center people who came to my office and they asked me to do a paper since I was there when they interviewed me and found out that I was there for a long time and so on. And I did the paper for them. And apparently, they showed him the paper in terms of the content, the structure, and everything that they had required. Because apparently, based on what the girl told me, that they had asked him to do these papers a while back, and he never was able to do it. He then came into my office. He poked the business, let's say, pick block, and came into my office because I had learned from Jean Evelyn, who was his boss at State Planning, that he usually would send him to the budget office, to my office, to collect certain information in relation to government, central government operations. And I told Jean Evelyn, I have never ever seen this guy. He never came to my office. But Jean reported to me that he will always come back claiming that I was busy. But when I heard this, which was a while afterwards, I said to Jean, I had never seen this guy before. He never came to my office. And so I know absolutely nothing about this guy, right? So it was no surprise to me when I learned that he couldn't do the papers that the Character asked him for. And he picked pluck because he avoided my office when in 1993 when I came back. He avoided my office like a plague. And they picked pluck that day and walked into my office and said to me that he was supposed to be doing these 2 papers for Character Center, that he didn't get time, all kinds of excuses he made, right, why he couldn't do it, right? And he was asking me because the Character Center apparently showed him the paper I did for them, showed him the paper, told him this is the style, context, and everything else of what they wanted, and requested that he present the papers. I think he had 24 hours because previously he was given a long time before, but he never did it. And he came and asked me to do it. Making all kinds of excuses about how he was busy, he was this, he was that. And I did it. He gave it over to the Character Center people. They were presented at the seminar that was held at the Tower Hotel in January of 1994. And everything was all right. From then onwards, Jagdeo held on to me like a leech, like white on rice.
Right. If you stick a pin there, please. This is getting interesting. Jagdeo held on to the former Minister of Finance, who is on the air with us, online with us, like a leech. Jagdeo, because we're not going to spend the entire hour with him, Jagdeo actually said that Minister Jordan, that the PPP felt sorry for you and basically give you a job out of charity. But What he did not say, 1 second, sir, please. What he did not say at that so-called press conference was when he got back from Russia, after he went on a scholarship, compliments of the PNC and the negotiation with the Russians. At that time, when he returned from Russia, it was the PNC, it was the PNC government that rescued him out of charity because they felt sorry for him and gave him a job at state planning under the PNC regime. Talk to us, please.
That is absolutely true, Mark. You're not making that up, because he went to Patrice Lumumba People's Friendship University in Russia. Okay? And at that time, when he came back, President Paris had gone, and Dr. Kenneth King, who Hoyt had brought back to assist with the ERP, was heading state planning. And it's Dr. King who sorry for him and gave him there. And he returned the favor when he became minister by making Dr. King ambassador to Brussels. And he returned the favor prior to that by making Dr. King the head of the unit to rewrite the National Development Strategy that was written under the guise of the Carter Center in about 5 or 6 volumes, very voluminous documents, which the PPP government apparently weren't too keen on reading. And so they recruited Dr. Kenneth King to head a unit that also had in Mavis Ben, former mayor, to rewrite the document into a single document. That is what that's how Kenneth King became famous under them. And after that, Kenneth King was recruited to become ambassador to Brussels, where he spent a considerable time until his retirement and then subsequent death.
Minister Jordan, and for those who are now joining us, Tom is with us as well. We get to Tom. Tom is enjoying every moment. Thank you so much, Tom. Spontaneous interview here by the former Minister of Finance, Winston Jordan, debunking the lies, propaganda and lies by Bharat Jagdeo, nothing new. But why is it that this guy Jagdeo feels that he can just lie like that and get away? A shameless liar. I'm sure when he submitted that paper to the Carter Center that you did for him, he pretended as though he did it. But why is
Of course, he pretended he did it because my contact with the Carter Center finished when the girl asked me, when the girl from the Carter Center asked me to do a short paper for them. I wasn't listed as a participant on the seminar or so on, right? So when I gave her that was to give her an insight into the ERP and so on, since I was an integral player in the economic recovery program, and I was always an integral player in the economic development of the country, right? From the time I joined State Planning Secretariat in 1981. Okay, charity. I'm a highly qualified individual with considerable experience.
Let me ask you this. There's no dispute about that. He is a political dunce, an economic dunce. We know that. There's no question about that. He's a dunce.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Mark.
Go ahead.
Mark, let me take you back to 1994. Okay. So when I came back, I was involved in the 1994 budget, right? Asghar Ali was the Minister of Finance, okay? When that budget was presented and everything else, Asghar Ali called myself, Clyde Rupchan, and Balgabin, thanked us for the work that we put in, and so on, and promised to increase each of our salary. I told him promptly, I'm not interested, because it's the whole ministry that was involved in the budget, not just the 3 of us. And I told him I don't want any increase that he given me as some kind of favor, because I didn't want to be in his clutches in terms of him reminding me that he raised my salary and so on. I told him no, I don't know about the other 2. But I just told him I was not involved in any salary that I didn't work for or that was being given to me because of somebody's largesse or something. Okay? Later on that same year, me and Asghar Ali got into a lengthy argument, okay, in which he wanted me to do something that I told him that he don't understand the public service rules, because at that time he was acting secretary to the Treasury, because Carol Hebert had gone off on 21 days vacation leave or something like that. And Luncheon appointed me acting secretary to the Treasury. And when I got there, I realized that there was a certain transaction that in relation to a car to be bought from one of the agencies that are here for Khurshid Sattar. And I nixed it. I nixed it. And Ali came in with this big barrel himself, calling me all kinds of things and suggesting that I must go and do it. And I told him I will never, if he wants me to do it, put it in writing. He never did. We had a big argument. You know what to solve that the whole issue? Edgar Heligo, who was in the ministry at the time, doing consultancy work. And then after Edgar solved it, Edgar apologized to me. But then I said, it's not enough. And I resigned. I resigned in August of 1994. I was subsequently picked up by the World Bank for a consultancy, I think around October, for a consultancy to that very same ministry. Right? That World Bank team was headed by a guy named Sawai Bunma. I tell you all these things.
We believe you. Jagdeo is
after that meeting, I went and joined the consultant. Semco used to be in Middle Street, upstairs of Majes. I was there with the principals, Cecil Rajano, Raymond Lachman Singh, Winston King, and Kathy Whalen. Those were the principals of Semco at the time. And I joined Semco around November of 1994 and worked with them until June of 1995, when Jagdeo, because when we back in August, that same that I resigned, at 7 o'clock, Jagdeo called me at my home, saying that I had resigned during the day. Told and asked the resignation. And he was cautioning Asghar Ali. And I told him I would not come back to the ministry. I said I will never come back to the ministry. I will certainly not come back to the ministry in a tenured position, because in any case, it was like national storage we were doing. The salary was not very competitive, but because of the previous government, as you well know, and the fight and all this kind of thing, I had stuck around. But I told him I would not come back. He said, all right, no. When he become minister, he wants me to come back and he can bring me back as an advisor. Right? Because in the ministry, they had a guy named Sodi, who was under a 3-year UNDP contract. Right? Jagdeo wasn't too thing with Sodi's performance. And after the year that Sodi had finished, he fired Sodi. And he gave me the balance of Sodi's time. And from then on until I left that ministry in 2007, he's talking today, but I was there, how he gave me charity from 1992 to 2015. I left the ministry in 2007. And from 1995, when he asked me to come back in the position of advising budget to 2006, he paid me in US dollars. US dollars, charity. He had to pay for my services. He had to pay for my services.
So all of the budgets that he presented, pretending as though he's a bright boy in economics and accounting and so forth, it came from you.
All the budget. I want Jagdeo to open any one of those budgets and tell the public, show them one sentence in all of those budgets that he wrote. So point to one sentence in the entire budget that he wrote.
So this guy Jagdeo is actually a dunce, a real dunce. Continue those.
Well, everybody knows, and that is what is eat him out, because everybody is aware that I am the one who used to be doing the budgets. I am the one who used to be running the structural adjustment program that continued after the PNC demitted office in 1992. I'm the one, and here you're talking about, oh, I was technician and ratios. I am the one who made certain we passed the IMF. Every IMF for financing from the donors, qualified for debt relief and everything.
Wow.
Jagdeo?
Wow.
Jagdeo?
This guy's actually a dunce. Tom, before we get into,
Jagdeo?
but before we go with I want to ask you this question. I know when finance minister, the senior finance minister, Asghar Ali, was brought back from Jamaica, given the by then President Jenny Jagan, Jagdeo didn't like it. And so Jagdeo started to snitch on Asghar, hoping that Asghar will fall so that he, Jagdeo. Did you hear that rumor?
I
business for a while now.
I heard that and more. See, Asghar, well, they all had their own thing, because people forgetting that when Asghar came, he was being called Dr. Asghar Ali. A lot of people don't remember that. In fact, a nameplate was put up in his office marked Dr. Asghar Ali. And I remember going in here one day and saying, because I had including some that while he was at the Bank of Jamaica as a deputy governor, as a governor, because there were three or four deputy governor in them at the time. Some issues are done really something there. So I said, when he said, told them not to put it up, and he's good. He eventually took down the name, so on. But for the time of this, he did a couple of things, right? If Mr. Man wrong, he was trying, as he knew, but at a political level, he stayed away too long from Guyana. He didn't understand the nature of the politics.
He spent quite a long time in Jamaica. But what was he really afraid, insecure about that, Mr. Thing Jagdeo, about? Why?
Because instead of conflict which he came as, and instead of, gradually understanding the terrain and so on, they felt that he was moving too fast. They felt that he was close to that he was moving too fast. He was killing constituencies and on the West Demerara and so on. And them guys, especially them PYO guys, said, no. That guy can't just come and think. So they probably started on the mind. That's the thing I could.
And yes, back then, word is that Jagdeo did the undermining, jealous, petty little boy, Jagdeo, the biggest dunce in Guyana. On screen there is Asghar Ali, former finance minister that Jagdeo squeezed out, took his position, and then had Winston Jordan, who is with us right now, do all of the budgets for Jagdeo. Jagdeo is a political dunce. He doesn't understand economics.
Mark, I mean, look when he became appointed senior minister, and look when I went back to the ministry. And I was able to name my terms to go back to the ministry. Look when. Yeah? Look when.
Absolutely.
As a Guyanese of African descent, you think he would have been paying me in foreign currency when I had to go looking after, well, when they couldn't get technical assistance or loans and so on, they still continue paying me foreign in US dollars for 12 years. 12 years.
Well, Mr. Jordan, impromptu, I have Anderson way. I don't know what's going to Tom's. He's enjoying everything. But Mr. Jordan, for folks who don't, Asghar Ali went on, left the PPP after Jagdeo snitched on him, and Jagdeo took over Asghar Ali's position. People thought he was there, but now that we're reminding folks who know that he wasn't really a doctor. It was fake. And this is what's happening right now. Even Jagdeo is not a doctor. It is fake as well. But this is the guy, Jagdeo, who loves to challenge people's academic qualifications. And most of you guys are by far more qualified academically and otherwise by Jagdeo. But Asghar Ali, who's on the screen right now, former finance minister under Chetty Jagan's administration, left the PPP, formed his own political party, didn't do well. And so that's it for Asghar Ali. But let me ask you this before we go. 10% increase. Jagdeo talking all sorts of things with an over $1 trillion budget. 10% increase. Your take, please, sir.
Well, you see, why you think he's upset? He's upset because of what I had said on the countdown and what I subsequently said on Thursday morning, elaborating even more about that 10% and so on. I showed where the minimum wage is $86,150. When you give a man the bottom of 10% increase, he mainly gets $8,615. $8,615. And with the 8% that already secured for next year, the total minimum wage at 2015 is going to be $102,346. But Ali's salary, Ali's 10% across the board is $290,000 per month. So every time they give the across the board increases, the gap between the one at the bottom and the man at the top completely widens. What it is that they don't understand. What it is they don't understand. And I showed where if you target at $200,000 as a starting salary, let us say you target that as a starting salary. If you continue going at 10%, it will take 7 years from 2015, from 2025, for you to reach $200,000. 7 years, that's 2032. Many of us will die by then. And when 2032, you get $200,000. It can buy half of what it could buy today. So when you do this, he was never good. He was never good at numbers. He was never good at analysis. He was never good at deep thinking. Never good. Where economics and finance are concerned, he was never good at it. And he always made certain that he had quality advisors surrounding him. Let me tell you something, even when he recruited me, he could not let Jagan know. He could not let Jagan know because he had recruited me, he had recruited Edgar Heliger, he had recruited Kobe Frimpong, who was getting 3 times my salary in US dollars. Kobe Frimpong, Dr. Kobe Frimpong.
Oh, that name is very familiar with Jagdeo in a lot of stories I've heard, but yeah.
Right? So he always surrounded himself with talent. You got to give him that. And it's that talent that made him shine. That talent.
All right.
That made him shine.
You know what, Mr. Jordan, we want to thank you so much. I wish we had more time. We should have planned this earlier. But I thank you so much. Don't be a stranger. We'll have you back very soon. I know you'll be on some other programs as well. Tell it like it is. Keep telling it like it is. But quickly, how do you feel $1 trillion budget and $1 billion economy, so to speak, with oil wealth and so forth going down the drain in Jagdeo's pocket, Irfan's pocket, their friends and cronies? They cannot match what the coalition did as it pertains to increase of public servants.
Man, I am so upset that the opposition is not doing more, in terms of highlighting this stuff, in terms of advocacy, in terms of action, and so on. It is not enough to do a press it tomorrow for 1 hour, read a statement, get a couple questions from thing, and then you move on. That's not going to move the PPP. It is serious how much money is flowing into this country. Serious how much money is flowing in. He never really could answer the questions on the natural resource fund. Never telling you about how they create board and if we know who on the board. Who cares who on the board? That got nothing to do with systems, procedures, and so on. Absolutely nothing to do. And he told a bunch of lies about the natural resource fund that we set up. But I will deal with all of those one by one. You'll see how I'll strike it down. And he told a lot of lies about the taxation. I will deal with those also. I will deal with it strike you down.
We know, Mr. Jordan, we know you will do just that. You have all of our support. All of the listeners watching, listening, wherever they are, you have our support, sir. Tom, I don't know, anything quick, because I can't leave you out, man. Sorry.
Well, no. I just want to thank Mr. Jordan for Mr. Jordan here, because this is what it's going to take in Guyana for it to change. For things to change, the people have to hear the truth, right? No matter how bad it is. And look, the truth is real bad when it comes to the PPP and Jagdeo. The truth is really bad. So the people need to hear it. Everyone needs to hear it. The supporters of the PPP need to hear this. You know, look, I tip my hat to Minister Jordan, because this is what needs to be heard. The truth needs to be told. We need much more of this. Yes.
Thank you so much, Tom. Mr. Jordan, thank you so much as well. We'll be speaking, and hopefully you'll be back very soon right here on 107.1 FM. Thank you, sir.
Anytime, Mark. Thank you very much for this tidbit. But over this weekend, I will certainly try any number of programs and deal with every one of the issues that he talked about. Everyone will strike them down as people have been struck down. Easy. I don't even have to do the research. They're all in my head. Strike them down. Nonsense. I mean, it's a good thing I didn't have to listen to the rubbish that he was talking today. But people will know, and I will bring some more facts out. And I hope this time around that the press and everybody carried it, because we have been carrying things, and the press don't seem to be interested. They don't seem to be interested. It talks a lot of lies about signing bonus, right? But then doesn't talk about the CGX $10 million that never came into their accounts. Never came into the accounts.
Wait a minute. CGX, that Canadian company headed by those three guys, two guys from Canada and one local guy from Guyana, had a signing bonus of $10 million US. Where the money went?
CGX put up $10 million for Guyana to fight. So now at the UN Conference of the Law of the Sea. They're the ones who put up the money. That's 80 million.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it and leave it more. But quickly, the 18 million given by Exxon was not a signing bonus. It was not a signing bonus. When Exxon was approached, they were approached for assistance to fight Venezuela at the ICJ. They weren't approached for signing bonus. Exxon said they don't give money like that. We have to find a way of transferring the money. Ministers explained all of this in Parliament, and he explained this also on a program that he had with Kiana Wilborg when she was with Kaito News Radio. We didn't get any signing bonus. What we got is assistance. How the assistance was determined? The 10 million that was given by CGX was the base, was taken as the base. And so, adjusting for inflation, they came up with 15 million. And then they threw in another 3 million for training in oil and gas. That's how you got the 18 million. And because they had to find a way of putting the money to us without appearing to be giving money for things, they said, let us treat it as a signing bonus. At least that is what Ganesh reported to the cabinet and what he has reported publicly.
You know, Mr. Jordan, where is the $10 million from CGX?
Never come into the accounts of Guyana. Never.
So shouldn't Jagdeo be explaining as to where that money is?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Tell you, this has been raised so often. It has been raised so often, and yet the press will not pick it up. They would not pick it up.
Wow,
because
okay.
I learned either last year or something where CGX may be considering it as their signing bonus should they find out. True, but I learned that might be the case.
Well, right? Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Those of you who know CGX and the three players, I think one of the principles of CGX was actually given an oil block just before Donald Ramotar demitted office. Lots and lots of things happening in Guyana, but I'm glad that you're able to remind us and even inform those who just don't know, many, Thank you so much for your contribution. But when I saw you coming through, our executive producer got in touch with you. I thought you were calling to give some sort of charity to us here.
That has to be arranged, Mark. It's Christmas and people expect some form of charity.
When I heard charity, because Jagdeo ice pass, and then he tried to say that you guys are playing the race game.
Race game. And imagine he's trying to turn cash transfer on us. Cash transfer in the context of Guyana. And oil was first put on the table in 2018 by Professor Clive Thomas. And the one who's screaming today about cash transfer was out front and center when he was in the opposition, decrying and debunking it.
Thank you so much. Jagdeo has a history of doing just that. Nothing and screaming. Nothing and screaming. Trench Crapo alert, guys. Trench Crapo alert. Thank you so much, Lou. Appreciate it.
Yes, man.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, sure. Winston Jordan, former finance minister of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, telling it like it is and setting the record straight, letting folks know that Jagdeo is a liar. Of course, we all know that. He is a liar. He is a dunce. But anyways, we appreciate former finance minister, the man who wrote all of the budgets for Barrett Jagdeo. Tom, before we get down into our business, I don't know, I wasn't expecting this. It was a last minute request, and of course we couldn't turn the finance minister down at all. Mr. Winston Jordan, your take on what you
That was great, man. I mean, this is what I've been, saying for a while now. I've been saying, more people need to come forward and start to tell the truth about what's going on. The reason why the media won't cover this stuff in depth is because in order for them to do it, they have to accept that the reality they've been portraying to the people as of, today has not been an accurate portrayal. That actually things are way more corrupt and way worse than the media is revealing. And that will take them that would force them to do much more of a better job, a more thorough job. It would also put their careers at risk, because we know that the PPP and these guys, Jagdeo, they attack and they use government agencies and connections to attack people they don't like. So, a lot would have to happen. But the way you get this started is by having people like Minister Jordan come forward and speak the truth, right? And let the people know what's really going on. And we need more people to do it. That's what has to happen. More and more people who know the truth need to come forward and speak it honestly, so that the people of Guyana can know what the truth is, so that when they decide to organize and get together and vote, they know what they're voting for.
Well said, Tom Anderson. The opposition need to utilize folks like experienced folks, qualified folks like Winston Jordan, in terms of economic advisors and all these things, well qualified. The opposition doesn't have, the leader of the opposition needs to have a strong economist, a qualified economist sitting by his side, an experienced economist. And this is not knocking anybody, this is politics. And it's time that those in the opposition start doing what is necessary to confront and expose the lies of Barrett Jagdeo. And that was powerful there by Winston Jordan, former finance minister under the coalition government. Tom, let's move on. We have some other things we want to talk about. But I want you to listen to this. And I hope those at the Ethnic Relations Commission, some of you Guyanese watching probably didn't see this video. I don't know when it was made, but I came across it. Somebody sent it, in fact. And Tom, if we have to interpret or translate for you, let us know, please. Take a listen, and I do apologize ahead of time for a little bit of filthy words.
You can believe me refuse one man with car, house, land, and good morning lot. With a good job and a thick fat bank account and can give me everything they need, and he wouldn't cheat for me and treat me good like one queen. But no, a piece of shit like me refuse them for a street dog. But I get chain for the neck, me even get chain for me, because if me own one, me no want them black man chop with my head anyway. and go up on the waist and drop down pants. Now we also tear up holy short like a this. Yeah, like this, the whole short, like you nigga owner. And they can buy so them put the top with a big music box and a smoke some long joint. And that the Bible like. But a piece of shit left me on read every day. And cheap to me. And bring up some Nancy story. And you want douche. Or some bush. That's why I can't even do bush cook these days because me don't want nobody hold me down in a bush. Me don't know what me want. Maybe you get me the shit in my head. Maybe I take a shit out and push phone instead.
Tom, you understood anything there at all?
That's most of it, yeah. Yeah. Talking about two different types of men, and she chose to get with someone who's not so good for some reason.
Dush and Bush and Sidunk. You know what Sidunk means, right?
No, what does that mean?
Sidunk.
Sit down.
Come on, Tom.
Your
Sidunk.
backside.
Sit down. Sit down. It's a Sidunk. Sidunk, as in sit down. But you missed the part with the gold chain and what's going to happen with her and her gold chain.
Yeah.
You heard that part.
Yeah. Yes.
The black guy.
Yeah.
The black guys. I know of people who got charged for less than that. One of them is right here, Rhonda Lane. Rhonda Lane got charged, was convicted wrongfully, because those who were supposed to jump and represent her didn't, but she was charged wrongfully, wrongful conviction, and she had to pay a fine of $500,000. Rhonda Lane. Rhonda Lane did nothing close to what this girl is saying here, but black folks, African Guyanese, will rob people in their chains. I don't know. Let's listen again.
You can believe me refuse one man with car, house, land, and good morning lot. With a good job and a thick fat bank account and can give me everything me need. And he wouldn't cheat for me and treat me good like one queen. But no, a piece of shit like me refuse them for a street dog. Well, I get chain for the neck, me even get chain for me because if me own one, me don't want them black man chop with my head anyway. And go up on the waist and drop down pants. Now we also tear up holy short like a this. Yeah, like this, the whole short, like you nigga owner. And they can buy so them put the top with a big music box and a smoke some long joint. And that the Bible like. But a piece of shit left me on read every day. And cheap for me. And bring up some Nancy story. And you want douche. Or some bush. That's why I can't even do bush cook these days because me don't want nobody hold me down in a bush. Me don't know what I want. Maybe you get me the shit in my head. Maybe I take a shit out and push phone instead.
Absolutely. I like her conclusion. She summed it up for herself, apart from the dushkadushk. You want dushkadushk. Right? I don't know what's happening. The dushkadushk.
I did hear the part of her getting her head chopped off for the gold chain. I heard that. That's crazy.
But by the black guys, by black.
Yeah.
Black guys.
Exactly.
Dushkadushk. She don't want to get dushkadushk. In the bush.
In the bush.
But the ERC, the Ethnic Relations Commission, Tom, they're not going to go after Dushkadushk. They are going to leave Dushkadushk alone. But had it been Gary Greenidge or somebody else, Lester Thom, May Williams, Harisari, Rhonda Lane, they would have gone right after those individuals. The Ethnic Relations Commission would have been able to do that. But are they going to go after Dushkadush? No. Dushkadush is probably running all over in bushes right now. Are they going to get Dushkadush? No. They're not going to go after Dushkadush. And we all know why. Some of you know what Dushkadush is. I don't know if it's Dushkadush. Other than her action, we can just conclude. Tom, moving away from Dushkadush, what's happening in the United States of America as we prepare for January 20th, the inauguration of Trump for his second term? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, there's all types of stuff happening on our end. I mean, I got to say this, though, bigger than on the political side, what you have is some vigilante stuff going on where you have this guy who assassinated the CEO of America's biggest health insurance company, United Healthcare. So you got that going on, and that has sent shockwaves through everybody from top to bottom, because we have an elite class in America right now who got there and who maintain their status through basically squeezing every penny out of the regular person down below. And even if that means their corporations have to do things that are underhanded, deny people claims that they should be able to get based off of paying their insurance premium every month, right? Because they're ripping people off all the way down to squeezing them out on their health care. It's created a sense of vigilante justice now. And because of technology, because people in the United States now, we can 3D print weapons. So you don't even have to go to buy a gun. You can make a gun with a 3D printer, okay? So since we have access to so much technology, and we have such a huge population that's educated and can actually go out there and hurt people, what you see now is what happened with the CEO of United Healthcare. And I would say many more people are in danger, because we live in a really tough time right now, and this assassination is proof of it.
And the youngster is brighter than all of them in the PVP cabinet right now. A graduate of Ivy League University, a master's degree, lots of things. He was, the valedictorian, all manner of things. Something that you didn't expect. It's not like people who are bright and academically qualified don't commit crimes, but this sort of crime. And this youngster here, I bet if he was from one of those Spanish-speaking countries, or maybe somewhere in the Caribbean, or maybe from Africa, and he was an immigrant, that would have been a big talking point for Trump and his folks. Don't you think?
That's right. That's what the storyline has been, right? Is that it's these outsiders, it's the poor people who are out there, victimizing, other poor people and stuff like that. But the reality is much different. All right. The reality is we've got now people in the higher elite status, people who've been living in gated communities their entire life, taking up arms and attacking. Okay, they're attacking CEOs. They're going on mass shootings. There is something happening in the elite part of the United States of America, and it's very disturbing. And it just proves that from top to bottom, our entire society right now, man, this is a vigilante justice period of time. It's really getting out of control. And look, I mean, I think the entire world is sort of at this place too, right? I think more and more truth is going to be revealed on regimes like PPP. I think as time goes on, more and more elite corporations are going to be exposed. We have the technology now to expose. We have the ability now to take that exposure and spread it far and wide. So these are interesting times. And I saw some people mention about the UFO stuff. And that's the other thing I did some work on today. That's another thing too, Mark. The UFO thing is crazy in New Jersey, man. I've got some pretty interesting thoughts on that, man.
Is that what they're saying? It's UFO, or those what do you call it again? Those little devices. Yeah. It's pretty scary, folks in the neighborhood. I have a friend not far away. The entire neighborhood is scared. What's happening? And even DHS saying, "Hey, that's not theirs." Nobody seems to know what's going on. What's that? Those drones as big as a bicycle or even a car? What exactly? It just zooms in and just disappears like that, Tom?
Yeah, so there's this base called Picatinny there in New Jersey, right? And what they house in that base are a couple of Department of Defense entities that deal in experimental weaponry. And one of the entities that's there at Picatinny, at the Picatinny base, is a company, is an entity that hired a company down in Maryland that specializes in these drones that they use in order to look for weapons of mass destruction. So what could be going on here, and this is just my theory, is that we have a situation where our government, the United States government, is investigating the New Jersey area. I believe, for some type of weapons of mass destruction, either biological, chemical, or nuclear. And they're using these drone systems to go in and 3D map out areas where they think there may be danger. That's what I think's happening.
Lots of things happening. Ms. Simons is saying, let's hear your thoughts on the UFOs, Tom. People in that area there in New Jersey, they're scared. There's something more, something that's going on that maybe the folks in authority don't want us to know at all. And I think you are onto something, Tom. You are onto something.
And they want to tell the
UFO.
public, if that's the case, if they're using these drones to basically search out some danger, some really bad danger, whether it's biological or chemical or something like that, they don't want to tell the public that's the case, because then people start freaking out, right? And on top of that, the people who they may be after, they don't want them to know that, oh, people are looking at you, right? But they probably know now with all the drones that are out there. With that said, that's why I think it's under wraps, and that's why no one wants to say anything, because if they say what it is, that they have to explain, well, yeah, there's probably some type of really bad danger in the area there, and that might cause panic.
Wow, and the really bad danger in the area has nothing to do with immigrants. Absolutely nothing to do with immigrants. The incoming Trump administration appear as though they just want to focus in one direction and ignore the other, and that might be a danger zone, so to speak. That you focus on those who are basically innocuous, and the real bad guys are the ones that you're not paying attention to. You're turning a blind eye. Tom, having said that, as we move away from the UFO, we move away from the dushkadush. What's your thought? The FBI director is leaving before his term finishes, which is a 10-year. He's leaving before Trump is inaugurated. He is just leaving. Your take on him leaving, and your take on this uphill battle of this guy that Trump has appointed or nominated, to become the director of the FBI.
Yeah, so the FBI has had issues over the years, and I've said this before, about law enforcement. I feel for law enforcement. I'm not a supporter of law enforcement. I think they can do everything right. No, I look at law enforcement. I do support them, but I support them from the perspective of, I feel like we overburden them and we give them too big of a job without enough resources to deal with it. Okay. And because of that, institutions like the FBI come under pressure. They're forced to work in an atmosphere that isn't conducive to real justice, blind justice. And so over time, things start falling apart. And so the FBI, I can tell you, they work very well, but at the same time, they have some serious issues. And so, FBI Director Wray stepping down, he's not handing over a mess to the next person, but what he's handing over is something very complicated and something very hard to deal with the problems going on there. And so you have Kash Patel coming in, and he doesn't have any law enforcement experience from what I can tell. And that's a big problem, because if you don't have experience and you're leading an agency that is doing whatever it is you don't have experience in, how does he know when people are doing a proper job or not? There's no way for him to know, right? He just has to take people's words. And that's not what you want with someone in a leadership position. You want someone in a leadership who knows what's going on below by just being able to look at it. They don't need to have advisors like Jagdeo to tell them everything. No, they can themselves look and figure out what's going on. That's what you need, especially when you have an organization like the FBI. So Kash Patel coming in, he's probably going to get the job. He is going to be in over his head in ways I don't even think he can imagine. He's thinking about all the ways he can weaponize the agency and do what Trump wants him to do. But I think if you look at this vigilante justice atmosphere, I think these guys are on the wrong foot, and they're going to end up facing some pushback where I don't know if they can get much done over the next 4 years, from what I can tell so far.
Notice Trump's incoming immigration czar, so to speak, border czar, so to speak, has toned down a little. Any surprise there? And then he had a meeting with the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, you're smiling, who has pledged to cooperate with this quote-unquote czar. Oh, I'm going to help you with these immigrants, these illegal immigrants. I'm going to help you. Never before. Could you imagine? What's going on there?
Well, you know, Eric Adams, man, this guy, he's a product of New York politics, New York City politics. And look, that's machine politics. The only way you can survive and thrive in that atmosphere is if you knife fight, politically knife fight people. That's what Eric Adams is, man. He is a political knife fighter, and he's in a situation now facing federal indictment where he needs help because he's fighting with a knife and what's coming at him are guns. And so he's hoping that the border czar guy and Trump will give him the ammunition he needs to be able to defend his position and not go to jail. Fine. The problem is allowing these guys carte blanche control over New York City police is going to result in a nightmare. Okay. This isn't the 1990s. Okay. Where you could have police abuses and people never saw it. They just heard about it. Right. We're in a situation now where all the police have body cams, people have cell phones, there are security cameras everywhere. Whatever they do, it's going to be on camera and it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty. All right. And so allowing these guys from the Trump administration carte blanche access to the New York City police and allowing them to basically run wild on the population in New York City, I believe is going to cause such a backlash to what they want to do that it's going to make it so their entire plan to mass deport is probably going to fall apart just because of the backlash they get out of New York City, in my opinion.
Yeah, and we can't disagree with your opinion. At least I don't. But let's go to what Congresswoman Yvette Clarke issued a statement today, and it quotes, there is no doubt in my mind that there will be immigrants of African descent in the crosshairs of President-elect Trump and the GOP's mass deportation plan, especially after the disgusting and false conspiracy theory spread this summer about Haitian immigrants in Ohio. As chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, my colleagues and I will use everything at our disposal to protect our immigrant communities and all communities made vulnerable by Republican MAGA extremism. Your take on that statement?
I mean, it's a great statement, you know, because, and look, they need more help. They need more of that. They need people backing her up. She needs clergy, social media people. People need to cut students. People need to back her up on this because it's sizing up to be that New York City is going to be ground zero for Trump's mass deportation plan. And if New York City is going to be ground zero with Mayor Adams giving Trump carte blanche access to the city's police force, then the public itself has to start organizing and getting together and get ready for the onslaught because this is real. And there's an opportunity here for both sides. The Trump side can use New York City as an example and then just fold other cities around the country, or the people in New York City can stand up and hold strong against this, just like the Congresswoman here, and organize and stand in the way of abuses. Because we know, and I know, if you do any research into this, New York City police have a history of going over the line. Okay, they just do. I'm not saying every cop is bad. All I'm saying is when you don't have good oversight and transparency, police tend to get out of control. And when you're giving them a job that's too big to do, like a mass deportation, and Trump's entire plan is going to hinge on it succeeding in New York City, there is massive room for abuse to occur. And like she said, the Congresswoman said, Yvette Clarke, what they're going to unintentionally, they will say, but ultimately we know they're going to single out people with darker skin complexions, and it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be pretty.
Certainly not going to be pretty. Dark complexion, whether in Brooklyn or whether in Queens. People with dark complexion. Read between the lines. Quickly before we go, Tom, what is your take on this photograph? Irfan Ali and a guy You'll see the photograph. Your take, sir.
Yeah, that looks like a bad picture, man. That's unfortunate. But with that said, look, man, when it comes to Guyana and Irfan Ali and the future of the country, I just hope that these guys are in a better position to make sure that people feel lifted up and not like this gentleman here. I mean, that picture actually speaks 1,000 words, because that's sort of how the PPP, their stance above the people of Guyana is, right? Where they want to be the guys who everyone bows down to. And I think the people who support the PPP feel like that's the way Guyana should be run, where the leadership should be bowed down to. But in the end, that's just not the case. I think Guyana's the land where no one needs to bow to anyone. And what needs to happen is they need to have leadership that can support and make sure that the overall population is in a place where they can hold their heads high and not hang them low.
Absolutely. And I think not so long ago, Irfan Ali was giving obviously the impression that he wants people to bow down to him. And listen to this, please. If you need for it to be translated, please let us know.
The man refused to shake my hand twice. What do you want me to do? Bow before him? He's God?
That's the only thing you can do in terms
the
of
opposition leader is not God. The first thing you must know, the first thing you must do.
Neither of you is.
No, I'm not. That is why I reached out humbly trying to shake his hands, and he refused. I tried humbly, Chabral, to shake his hand, and he refused.
But that's the only mechanism.
Oh my God. If you can't shake the hands of a humble man, what else would you do?
Tom? Oh my gosh.
He's not a humble man. He is not a humble man. This is, look, man, there's so much opportunity. The future is so bright. I just hope, sooner rather than later, more people like Minister Jordan can come forward, tell the truth, so the people know what they're dealing with, and they can get people into office who will reflect the true beauty of the people of Guyana and not what's going on now.
Absolutely, the true beauty of Guyana. Tom, Assad is gone. He's gone. The Syrian president, the Syrian dictator, all those fancy cars, man. Look at the home. His bathroom is bigger than some folks' basement out in Queens or wherever. They got basements in Brooklyn as well, too, or wherever. I did say wherever. But take a look at Jagdeo. I wonder, a lot of folks in Guyana are saying, who's next? Who is next? I just thought I'd be a little bit mischievous and show you that photograph. Your closing remarks, please, Tom Anderson.
Well, yeah, no, this was a great show. And, I just want to reiterate, more and more people in Guyana need to speak the truth. And it doesn't matter on what level you're on. You don't have to be someone like a former finance minister. You can be just someone who has experience. The nation has to get in a mindset of speaking the truth and being open and honest from the bottom. That's where it has to start. And so I encourage everyone to start speaking to start speaking out and telling everyone what the truth is, what's really going on behind the scenes, because we're at that time now in world history and the history of our region where that is needed 100%. Because in order for nations like Guyana to develop the way that we all want Guyana to develop, it's going to take transparency. It's going to take honesty. It doesn't mean just because people are being honest that people have to be thrown away. No, what it means is that people have to change. But we have to be honest, tell the truth about what's going on so that we have at least a starting point for changing going forward. Because if that can happen, then what we can see in Guyana, and I keep saying this over and over again, we can see one of the brightest spots in the world and in our region coming out of Guyana, being a place of leadership and being a place where all the other nations around, all the other neighbors can look up to the people of Guyana, which I think should be the case.
Thank you so much, Tom. We have been on this program at least over an hour. We sit dunk. We sit dunk on the show.
Yeah.
We sit dunk. Thank you thank you so much, Tom, for sitting dunk with us right here.
Take care. Thanks for having me again, Mark. Take care.
Thank you, Tom. Yeah, Tom Sedunk with us for 1 hour. Sedunk. All right, guys. Hey, what else we can deal with before we go? Let's deal with Sedunk and Dushkadush. Dushkadush one more time. For those who missed Dushkadush, uh, Dushkadush may not have been aware because there's this uh, everything they black man did this, black man would keep this, black man would do this, all manner of things. And I think it's Basil Bradshaw who made the point there, and maybe others as well. But I read Basil Bradshaw's comment that in Guyana, crime is not confined to one particular ethnic group. I repeat, crime is not confined to one particular ethnic group. But yet they continue like that Dushkadush girl. Dushkadush believes that only one set of people, and that is persons of African descent, are the ones who are committing crimes. The biggest set of crimes and drug lords and money launderers and gold smugglers and those who pay people to go out and assassinate people, kill people, rob people, all manner of things. You guys would be surprised, or maybe you wouldn't be surprised, but people are turning a blind eye from that reality. And so what that woman said, if we can take these that particular criminal off the and that's Jagdeo, mind you. And let's go back. Let's remove Dushkadush from the screen, please. And let's go back to the other Dushkadush and listen to what the Dushkadush has to say and why the ERC is not going to go after Dushkadush.
You can believe me refuse one man with car, house, land, and good morning lot. With a good job and a thick fat bank account and can give me everything me need. And he wouldn't cheat for me and treat me good like one queen. But no, a piece of shit like me refuse them for a street dog. Well, I get chain for the neck, me even get chain for me because if me own one, me no want them black man chop with my head anyway. And go up on the waist and drop down pants. Now we so tear up holy short like a this. Yeah, like this, the whole short, like you need the owner. And they can bicycle with them foot they top with a big music box and a smoke some long joint. And that the Bible like. But a piece of shit left me on read every day. And cheat for me and bring up some Nancy's story. And you want douche. Some bush. That's why I can't even do bush cook these days because me don't want nobody hold me down in the bush. Me don't know what I want. Maybe you just make a shit in my head. Maybe I take a shit out and push phone instead.
You know, sorry about that, Dushkadush. Someone needs to report Dushkadush to the ERC. No kidding. Someone needs to report Dushkadush because it's got to stop. These sort of things have to stop. And then Jagdeo, new name now also is Dushkadush, complaining that Winston Jordan and others are playing the race card. Jagdeo came from nothing, hand to mouth. The PNC felt sorry for him. They were generous to him and they gave him charity. After he came back from Russia, they gave him an opportunity to work under the PNC regime. They didn't discriminate against him. They didn't. They gave him charity because Jagdeo is a dunce. He couldn't do anything. You heard Winston Jordan, what he said. You guys heard? Anyways, I've got to go. But this girl, Sedunk, ice pass persons of African descent. And at some point in time, it's got to stop. The I-pass, has got to stop. But the person who posted that, what Dushkadush said, I got to say that I felt really, really good. Because majority of the folks, I read about 20 comments, and maybe all of those comments condemned what she said about persons of African descent. And 95% of those persons who condemned her are persons of East Indian descent in Guyana, who condemned her. And that is how we need to condemn these lackeys, these wishy-washy, dushka-dush. Sidunk? Okay. You want to sidunk? You can sidunk. Sidunk.
Love is like a chair, baby girl, come and sit in there. But you just throw away your doubts for me. Throw away your fears. Sit down on it, just down on it, down on it.
All right, here's where we'll pull the curtains down. I've been sitting duck for too long, and I'll just hop off and just probably dushka-dushk. All right, my name is Mark Benchcap. I'll be back tomorrow. Dushka-dushk. I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. And whatever you do, be safe. Regardless of what you do, be safe. Dushka-dush. I love you guys. God bless you.
Yeah, my name is Jagdeo from Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. If cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Jordan?
So
You can believe me refuse one man with car, house, land, and good morning lot. With a good job and a thick fat bank account and can give me everything me need. And he wouldn't cheat for me and treat me good like one queen. But no, a piece of shit like me refuse them for a street dog. Well, I get chain for the neck, me even get chain for me because if me own one, me no want them black man chop with my head anyway. And go up on the waist and drop down pants. Now we so tear up holy short like a this. Yeah, like this, the whole short, like you make it owner. And the time bicycle with them foot the top with a big music box and a smoke some long joint. And that the Bible like. But a piece of shit left me on read every day. And cheat for me. And bring up some Nancy's story. And you want douche. I saw douche.
Come and sit in there, but you just throw away your thoughts for me. Throw away your fears. Sit down on it, just down on it, down.